Alright, hello and welcome to another episode for MC Airsoft. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be discussing the Adaptive Armament PRC15 or 15. So, some basics with this is it doesn't come with everything you see. Let me break that down first. It does come with the magazine, does come with the flip-up sights, does come with at least who I ordered it from, which I had problems with the seller, so I'm not going to recommend them. However, you can find it on Amazon, you can find it in a few other places. So the battery, it came with a Elite Force 9.6, which is great because that means you don't have to buy a battery out of the box. It did come with a high capacity magazine. Now that high cap, compare the size lined up at the bottom with a standard high cap, it is slightly bigger. I'm gonna guess that it is a 4 or 450 instead of the normal 350. You can see, let me actually pull it out of the gun so you can see. So it is probably an additional 50 rounds or so. I don't know the exact number because I don't use high caps. I'll have a later video coming out about why that is. But yeah, it does not come with an M-LOK compatible rail, but it does fit M-LOK into all the rail sections, even the 45-degree offsets, which is a rarity in Airsoft. So that's good. It didn't come with the sight, didn't come with M-LOK rails, didn't come with the grip. Just clarity there. What it did come with is a rubberized butt pad. I don't like it personally, but I can understand why people might. On a real steel firearm, I might want it, but for me playing Airsoft, it just snags clothing way too easily. I don't like it. The stock is thinner than the normal car style stocks, which is a good thing and a bad thing for battery storage, which it does fit an inline MOSFET. It's a Burst Wizard 4 in the tube, so you're a little cramped for space. You gotta kind of manhandle it to get it in there. Comes with a 3-point sling plate down here. So you have 2 points on the left, 1 point on the right. I wish that was reversible easily because I am a left-handed shooter, but you know, at least it has something for left-handed shooters. Normal A2 style pistol grip, normal trigger, but it is a micro switch trigger in there, which is really nice. For anyone concerned about, let's see if I can do this. For anyone concerned about trigger response, let me bring it up to the camera. So you have the take up, and then you hit kind of a wall. It is heavier than I expected for a micro trigger, but personally I like that. And then once you hit that wall, you have probably about 5 millimeters of play. So if you wanted to feather it, you very much can. And like I said, it does have a MOSFET, it does have a micro switch trigger. With a LiPo in there, you could probably get some real quick follow-up shots. Playing with it, played it with it at a few games now. I can't speak to longevity, but it is OEM'd, at least internally, by SHS. So it's got all the full steel SHS gears, piston, rack, at least, you know, all that good stuff in there. So longevity seems decent on those parts. I don't know about them in this particular gun. I've only had it for about a month now. So next thing to note, it does have a charging handle. Charging handle is plastic but feels nice. If you do have problems flipping up the dust cover, I did when it first got it and before it broke in, just twist the charging handle. You can twist it to either side and that'll help better engage it. But now that it's broken in, I have no issue with that. It does have a retractable fake bolt there, which is locked, and you can release it by the bolt release on the other side, which is nice if you like playing around with your hop-up quite a bit. Speaking of hop-ups, this is a rotary style hop-up, and unlike some of them, this is a metal rotary style hop-up, which is really nice. I've been playing with .3s on this and had no issue hopping them. I have ran it with Lancers on the field. I've ran it with, there's been other people using other guns, but this is honestly probably the next, the most comparable to a Lancer, and it keeps up with the, you know, the ones that are in the about $200 range. No problem, and I would say even though it has a shorter barrel, it is outranging a lot of them, although accuracy maybe not so much because, you know, longer barrel. The sights are okay. They flip up decently. They have the pistol kind of sights on top. I can't really complain too much about these sights because they were free, and they seem like a decently durable plastic. They're not Magpul sights, although that is kind of what they're meant to emulate. They do have differences, so it's not a clone, but yeah. The one thing I don't like about the receivers, talk about the receivers real quick. Everything seems fine. You can see from the mag well here, as I try and push it, nothing. I'm not getting any kind of flex. They are polymer upper and lower, but two things that I don't like actually. One is on all the plastic parts there's quite a bit of flashing. Most of it goes away with normal wear from gameplay. If it doesn't, then, you know, run a quick file over it. The file's going to be $5, you know, for a set of them, and it's not going to take you any amount of time to knock off some flashing. The other issue I have is that it has the rail up top is also part of that polymer, and while that polymer is sturdy, I don't know if I trust it as much as a metal receiver, so I wouldn't go mounting heavy optics to it, or yeah, heavy or frankly expensive optics to it, because I can't trust it. That's just my opinion. I have no reason other than it's plastic to think that way. So moving forward, you do have a metal, like imitation URGI style rail, which my main complaint is this cut at the front. If you think that looks cool, great. I don't. I think it looks dumb. I'm going to be switching out the rail anyway, so it didn't really bother me. But yeah, I think that cut at the front takes away from the gun rather than adding to it. So that's a complaint I have. Again, that's my personal preference. You might think otherwise, and that's cool. But like I said, at least with the Magpul rail adapter, which this is a real Magpul rail adapter, not a knockoff. So it worked on all, what was that, 7 parts of the rail, so even the 45-degree offsets. So chances are, if you're getting this thing and you want to mount something onto the 45-degree rails, you probably can. Depends on what you buy and, you know, what it is. One thing I will say is you won't be able to slide on and off the rail over the gas block with the mag rail attachments. So put the rifle on and put those in. Now with the Magpul attachment, the gas block did impede putting the grip up here. Again, that's just this rail adapter. If you could also cut down the screws, you could, maybe other brands have shorter screws, but the screws did stop it from being mounted up at the gas block, which my plan for this is to replace the rail, add a 1-inch barrel, outer barrel extension, and then turn it into a URGI build, Mark 18 URGI build. So I'm probably going to bump out the gas block so I can mount the grip a little bit further forward anyway. This is a Tango down grip that's probably older than most Airsoft players. I don't even know if they still make it anymore, but I threw it on there because it's what I had, and I like vertical foregrips for CQB work. Buttstock feels good, no problem. I do have the, let's see. Not sure how many positions it has, probably the normal 6, whatever. I will note that the castle nut back here does back out, so if you're concerned about that, go ahead and stake it. If you don't know how to stake a castle nut, well, YouTube it, I guess, or Google it. It does have some issues on that final notch, but you can fit everything in there. Although, other than for storage, there's really no point to that final notch anyway. So, for those of you who don't know, the way you want to measure a M4 buttstock is to put it in the pocket of your shoulder and be able to comfortably work the trigger. It is unloaded. So you can comfortably work the trigger from that position. Some people find the A2 style grip uncomfortable. I don't. I like it personally. But then again, I do mostly shoot with my middle finger anyway, even on real steel. But yeah, so castle nut, that's kind of an issue. But it's a good stock. It fits all the way down. If you are wearing a plate carrier, maybe one notch in from there so you can brace it onto those straps on the plate carrier. But yeah, that's how you're supposed to use them. Your mileage may vary. Do what you want to do. It's Airsoft. As far as the internals go, it does have the 8mm bushings. It's got 2 bearings and 1 bushing, 1 solid steel and, or sorry, 1 bearing and 2 solid steel. So it's probably got some solid longevity out of it. It was shimmed really well in my opinion, although I'm not as into the teching side as a lot of people, but it sounds just fine to me. Right on fire on full auto with a 9.6. So there is an issue with the MOSFET, and that is that you need a computer engineering degree to kind of figure it out. Maybe rocket scientist. So this is the MOSFET programming guide, and it is programmable from the outside. I wish that it just made it so that it plugs into a computer and you can just press a button and be happy with it. Because this crap is confusing. And now that I've messed around with it, I can't get it back down to the original setting. Personally, for most people, I think if you're not running a LiPo in this, just take out the MOSFET. It's not worth it, not worth the hassle to me. What I was trying to do with it was to program it to a 1-round burst on full auto. So that way on the, because I don't use full auto, I don't play at fields. I guess there's one field in my area that allows full auto, but so I was trying to program it so semi, and then yeah, I don't know what's happening with it, so I'm gonna figure out how to reset it to standard and then just not worry about flipping it to full auto. What it comes pre-programmed as is, let's see, that. I don't know why it keeps switching in between all of the different versions, but what it comes pre-programmed as is you pull the trigger, there's a 3-round burst, and then you hold the trigger down, you continue holding the trigger down after the 3-round burst, and it'll swap straight into full auto. I don't like it. I think that is unnecessary. I'm gonna go over my thoughts in detail on MOSFETs in general, other than the LiPo protection, which obviously you need if you're running LiPo, in a later video. But yeah, so that's the basics of what I wanted to talk about today. I think it is a great rifle if you only got like 200 bucks to spend. If I didn't know what this was and someone put it in my hands and I got to play with it a little bit, and then they asked me how much that I thought it was, I would easily say that I thought this was like a $300–400 rifle. I think it's a phenomenal deal. Very sturdy externals. As far as I've put it through the paces, decent looking externals, other than this stupid thing that I wish Airsoft manufacturers would stop doing. The internals are all SHS, which I've seen people replace Crytek parts with SHS. So, you know, your mileage may vary, but I think it is a phenomenal deal. I would say that it'd be an easy $400 rifle, but I wouldn't have bought it for $400 because I don't spend that kind of money on Airsoft. So yeah, those are my general thoughts. I think it's a great rifle. I think that it is better than Lancers, although they do have the longer barrel version. I would opt for that instead. So yeah, so until next time, stay safe and stay hydrated.